Hey, good game.
Hello and welcome back to the Christine Minotti Bullwinkle Arena here at the Reagan Center of Eureka College, where the second part of our doubleheader today will feature the Eureka College men facing Iowa Wesleyan in a SLIAC matchup. Eureka College coming in at 10-4, 5-2 in the SLIAC, coached by 11th year head coach Chip Wilde, facing the Iowa Wesleyan Tigers, who are 2-12, 2-5 in the SLIAC, coached by 4th year coach Alex Huseman. I am Thomas Harrison once again on the call. Back with me, Jacob Schnolli, coming right back from the first half of this doubleheader, where the women of Eureka College defeated Iowa Wesleyan in a trouncing 84-46 here at the Reagan Center. The largest margin of victory over Iowa Wesleyan since the 91-92 season. Just a great performance here from the Red Devils. They just had their foot on the gas pedal from start to finish and never let off the brakes. Once again, I'm Thomas Harrison, Jacob Schnolli here. As we get ready for the second contest, about 3 minutes left here. What do we expect to see out of this Red Devil squad?
I mean, you got to expect a fast-paced game with good guard play. You got Shea Feehan, Ryan McElmurray running up the backcourt. Good big man play, as we always expect. And it should be another good showing from this Red Devils men's basketball team, who's been on a roll lately. They had hiccups early in the year, but they've picked it back right on track and are looking as great of a basketball team as I've seen in my 3 years here.
Yeah, this team moved into first place in the SLIAC with a victory over Westminster last Wednesday, winning that contest 95-56. Eureka putting up some big numbers there in that one. We got a chance to talk to kind of the big man on campus here for this Eureka Red Devil team, Shea Feehan, in between games, and just an unbelievable performance by him in that game. We saw a lot of new pieces. We kind of asked him about how it felt in the game like that. Everything seemed to be clicking. Everything seemed to be falling for them. He just talked about the chemistry on this team. Every guy on this team is playing well in their role. We see the new guy here in Dakota Bennington, and he stepped right in at semester, transferred in from Olivet Nazarene, and has put up big numbers off the bench. We've even seen him start a few times. Just another key piece to this team.
Yeah, and for him to come off the bench and have 25 in that game against Westminster, you really got to think, well, how many more pieces could Chip add? I mean, this team, this lineup is so dynamic, so good at the game of basketball, so quick, so interchangeable. It's just awesome to see.
We've seen this squad where you typically see those guards. You see Shea Feehan, Hank Thomas, usually the big scoring threats. You see a lot of three balls from them. You'll see Hank Thomas spot up in the corners time and time again in this game and knock him down. You'll see Feehan knock down shots you think he has no business putting in the bottom of the basket, but he does it time and time again. And like he mentioned in the pregame, all of that starts with point guard Ryan McElmurray. He's great at what he does. He will push the ball up the floor, great court vision, and it's hard to find somebody who can defend his ball handling in this conference.
And he's really the spark for this offense. When the ball's in his hands, this Red Devils team is firing on all cylinders. He's quick, he's good at defense, he's a good scorer, he can do almost anything you ask him to, and that really has led for this Red Devils team to just push themselves to the next level.
You've seen a guy like McElmurray in the starting lineup just able to keep the game running smoothly, but then you see guys coming off the bench like Brady Sanders, who's a senior on this team, transferred in last season. Great leader off the bench, oftentimes consider him that sixth starter. He comes in, they don't skip a beat, a very similar type of player who's very physical defensively. His first look is not going to be to score, but he is going to get it done time and time again.
And Sanders has been one of those guys that Coach Wilde has definitely leaned on to take over.
I got you. As we get things set up here, as the referees check into the scorers table, and we get the starting lineup for Iowa Wesleyan announced. For Iowa Wesleyan, we will start number 3, Jake Neubauer, number 5, Brock Butler, number 10, Elijah Johnson, number 11, Austin Banks, and number 42, Mitchell Dre. This Iowa Wesleyan team, we were looking at the roster earlier, an interesting roster. Got a couple of guys from out of the country here. We know Eureka is a team that's really built in the state, in the area. Only one guy even out of state, just right across the border in Indiana. This Iowa Wesleyan team, we featured 5 Australians. We got a European player from Spain. Really just a different look than what we saw last year.
And how crazy is that? The Eureka team barely out recruiting people out of the area of Peoria. It's such a tight-knit group, And then you go look at the Iowa Wesleyan roster, and there's guys from all over the place. So it's kind of cool to see, both ends of the spectrum there for both of these rosters.
Yeah, you see this area of basketball, you hear it all over the place. This is a great area for basketball right here in Central Illinois, in this greater Peoria area. You see guys time and time again, this team has been built on for years, that local recruiting. Shea Feehan mentioned it when we interviewed him. All those local guys, a lot of them have known each other since junior high school, whether it be playing in the same conference, playing in summer ball. These guys have known each other this whole time.
And credit to Coach Willie again for going out and finding that great talent in Peoria that he has done so well. Like you mentioned, Shea Feehan, Hank Thomas, even Dakota Bennington now. Just a great roster from the local area, and it's awesome to see those guys excelling at this level.
You've seen guys, even if they didn't come here right out of high school, doing a great job of selling this place to them as coming back home. We saw Shea Feehan, who's now turned into arguably the best player in Division III basketball, start at a Division II university, and Chip Wilde brought him back home to the Peoria area. We've seen what he's done, reaching 1,000 points in just 40 games, something that's just unheard of, averaging over 25 points a game for his career.
And he had come in at the second semester and just really played awesome basketball. And he's even excelled his game to the next level as the years gone on. A player that we saw over the summer work hard, take that next step to being the best, and he's done such a great job this year.
And we see as the crowd gets nice and loud here in the Reagan Center, packed here on Alumni Day, and a lot of recruits on campus seeing this culture. People coming back home time and time again. These alumni love it here at Eureka as they get loud for that starting lineup that features number 14 from Washington, Alan Wiegand. Number 30, the big man down low, but he'll step out and knock it down from Metamora, Jordan Dame. Number 1, the guard, Ryan McElmurray, handling the point guard duties, along with the shooting guard, Hank Thomas, and Shea Feehan, both from Peoria, Illinois. This team, we've seen these guards just unbelievable. It's hard to find a better backcourt in the SLIAC. These guys just time and time again, unbelievable, knocking down shots, very fast, very quickly paced. And then the big men here for Eureka, Alex Wiegand, who steps into the center circle against Mitchell Dre, just can jump out of the room, just a great athlete.
We look at such great athletes on the floor for Eureka. Their two big men can step out and shoot the three. It makes it hard for other teams to cover, and we've seen that over and over again in conference play.
As Wiegand wins the tip, but tipped away, and Iowa will get the first possession of the contest as Neubauer drives left. He looks for some space, nothing there as he'll force it out to Brock Butler, guarded by McElmurray. He'll try to drive on McElmurray, tough task. That shot is up and good, highly contested, but a nice finish there by Butler. As now McElmurray brings up the court, up top to Jordan Dame, left side to Feehan. Iowa Wesleyan coming out in the man look as they'll swing the ball right side as McElmurray gets some space off a screen from Wiegand as he will drive and kick to Dame from the free throw line. That shot is up, just off, no good, rebounded by Johnson. Johnson gives it back to Butler, who will give it right back to Johnson, guarded by Feehan. He finds a cutting Banks who will kick outside, and that three is good by Jake Neubauer. So Iowa Wesleyan jumps out to a quick 5-0 lead here with 19 minutes left, just a minute into this contest. As now Shea Feehan looks to Hank Thomas. He'll give it right side to McElmurray. McElmurray comes off the screen from Wiegand. He will step back for three, and he will knock that down, getting that separation time and time again. McElmurray's signature move there, just that little jab step, getting the defender off of it.
And we see even when Shea and Hank Thomas both aren't shooting the ball well, he'll step up, and he did a great job there. He's one of their best guards I've seen play basketball.
As Neubauer once again gets a nice move there, spinning to the basket over Dame. He'll put it up and in for two as McElmurray brings it quickly up the floor. So they will work Feehan right side. He'll drive to the lane, get a little bit of space, lose his footing, recover, and he'll knock that one down. Again, another shot that you think has no business going in. Feehan will find the bottom of the basket.
And how many times have we seen over and over throughout the year him do that? It's just incredible. Great body control, great shot, always finding the bottom of the net.
As Mitchell Dre is outside, back to Neubauer. Neubauer guarded by Dame. Back to Dre. Dre trying to work right side, one-on-one versus McElmurray. McElmurray a lot smaller, but much more physical. As now Neubauer will try to drive to the basket and put another shot up, no good, rebounded by Jordan Dame. Eureka College down two here, 7-5 early in the contest as McElmurray drives to the basket. The finger roll is no good under the arm of Elijah Johnson. Because now Neubauer will bring it back up the floor. He will look right side to Johnson. Johnson, the lefty, three is up, just long, no good, long rebound by Jordan Dame. He'll give it to McElmurray, who pushes up quickly. The no-look pass to Hank Thomas on the right side, and that three is good in transition.
You know, and that transition three, we're going to see a lot of that in today's ball game. Eureka is so good at pushing the ball up the floor, knocking down threes like that, and it's just going to continue.
As Butler passes inside to Dre. Dre will look for a cutting Johnson. Just a bit too long. He is guarded there by Feehan, as now Hank Thomas slacking off of Johnson, giving that room to shoot. He misses but gets his own rebound. Now Johnson for the second attempt, no good, rebounded by Wiegand, and they will outlet to McElmurray, who pushes quickly to Hank Thomas, gets some space, gets the finger roll there in transition.
Another quick hoop by the Red Devils offense, and it's awesome to see them clicking on all cylinders here early to start.
Yeah, high scoring early here, 10-7 Eureka, 16:45 left in this first half. As a cutting Butler will get to the basket and be fouled by Dame. Dame trying to go straight up there, but just a little bit too much contact. As they will get the foul, Butler heads to the line. We've seen so far both teams coming out firing, trying to work quickly. We saw it a lot in the women's game. This Eureka men's team also playing very tight defense, getting those passing lanes.
You know, it's something we've heard them talk about, you know, just talking with them. They pride themselves on defense. They love getting in your face and making you create turnovers because they have the athletes to create the turnovers and get easy buckets.
That first free throw is good. Something I always notice you see at halftime of the women's game during these doubleheaders, a lot of times the men's team will come out and shoot. But you see all these guys maybe messing around, kind of throwing up some shots, dunking. Ryan McElmurray dribbles up and down the floor, working on his dribble moves. He's doing defensive slides. He is getting mentally prepared for the contest because he knows he is that rough-nosed defender this team needs.
You know, and you see it in the transition to the game. The way he handles the ball and runs this offense is fantastic, and that's got to be a lot of credit to that pre-game warm-up that he goes through.
As Hank Thomas will fake the pass to Dame, get some space, but then he will miss that three as it is rebounded by Iowa Wesleyan. As now Dre tries to work inside on Wiegand. He will lose his footing, but that pass finds its way to Butler, whose three is up and good. A lucky pass there from the Tigers. Could have been a turnover, but quickly turns into 3 points. Now McElmurray pushes right side. He will come back left, give it off to Feehan. Feehan thinks about the long three, has a little bit of space. He'll work one-on-one versus Butler. He'll get to the basket, fouled hard there by Johnson as he will go to line for two. And Shea Feehan, one of the best free throw shooters in the country, at one point hit 47 straight last year. Just an unbelievable number, something you a lot of times don't see.
You know, and like you said, you don't see that a lot, but I saw him in the gym over the summer working on free throws. How many times can you say you go into a gym, see your best player working on free throws? It's just another facet of his game that he excels tremendously well at.
As we'll see Dakota Bennington for his first action here at home of the season. The transfer from Olivet Nazarene will come in for Jordan Dame. We've seen another guy, bigger body, but another very athletic guard, can shoot. He jumps incredibly well. You'll see him fighting down low a lot of times as Feehan knocks down both free throws to tie this game up at 12.
You know, and Dakota Bennington, a freak athlete, even in pregame warm-up, the way he dunked, threw the ball down, dribbled, shot, he did it all in pregame. I'm excited to see how he plays in my first glance at him at home.
See Neubauer there going around the entire length of the key, coming off several screens, and he'll get open for two. Definitely looks like early this Iowa Wesleyan team is going to rely on Neubauer for the scoring. As now Bennington drives the basket. He will get contact. They will say no shot even though it went in, but he will head, I believe, yeah, that will be inbounded underneath the basket before the shot, as we will see a couple subs from Iowa Wesleyan here as Johnson and Banks check out. And now we see number 23, Cameron Mack, and number 2,
I got you.
Jared Fernandez.
I got you. I got him. That's me.
As now we get things figured out here at the scores table. A little bit of confusion, but we're getting that all taken care of. As Eureka College down 14-12 here with 15-19 left in the first half. The long inbound to Shea Feehan, who will work to Hank Thomas, who will come back to the top of the key, pick up the dribble left side to McElmurray. He's directing traffic there, and Feehan's three is up and good with the foul. He will try to convert it for the 4-point play here. How many times we've seen Feehan do that? Just great under pressure. You see these defenders, they know he's the scoring threat. They know he's going to shoot from the outside. They get scared and they try to close out hard, and he will still knock it down. You
know, and we say this a lot about a lot of people. You cannot leave them open. And Shea is the exact example of that. This man will hit a shot from anywhere. He is such a great shooter, and I'm surprised that he was that wide open this early.
You could hear coming from the bench, The coach yelling, shooter, shooter, before he even had the ball, knowing that you cannot give him that much space because this team will find a way to get him the ball. As now Butler chucks up a three. It is no good. Rebounded by Feehan. He is off and running. 3-on-2 for the Red Devils. He kicks out to McElmurray, who thinks about it, but he will pause. Back to Feehan in the corner. Knocks that one down and is fouled again. He will head to the line for a second straight 4-point play. Unreal there. We talk about the unselfishness. Ryan McElmurray, what he does for this team, he had a wide open three himself. He waits for defenders to come to him, gives it right back to Feehan in the corner.
I mean, when McElmurray has those shooters around him, you know, he's just blessed. He is a great shooter like we talked about, but a great passer as well. And we've seen that early, getting the ball to the shooters, and you see this Eureka team take that early lead, which is awesome to see.
You see Feehan there, 8 points in 2 possessions, knocking down back-to-back 4-point plays as an air ball there from Iowa Wesleyan, rebounded by McElmurray. Once again, off and running. He will get all the way to the basket, going coast to coast, 4-2. Iowa Wesleyan has to call a timeout. This crowd is pumped up. This Eureka team is fired up. Unbelievable basketball right there. 10-point run in a matter of seconds.
You know, and we spoke on this earlier. Eureka has great athletes, and we've seen it early. Not just great basketball players, great athletes. But McElmurray might have been the fastest player down the court in that instance right there and still got the basket.
Yeah, you see he hits the rebound off and running in transition. He was the furthest distance from the basket, gets there through traffic, puts it in easily. Just the kind of player that he is, hard-nosed grit, another one of those scrappy players. Just the unselfishness right there we saw in the previous possession, wide open three. There's nobody within 7 feet of him. He takes a jab step to draw 2 defenders, hits Feehan in the corner, who once again knocks down that highly contested three for back-to-back 4-point plays. As now we're right back in action as Neubauer gets the ball to Dre. Dre will be trapped. Bennington pokes the ball away there, but they will call a foul as now Iowa Wesleyan will inbound from the left side. Great to see this team already fired up. The crowd definitely into it. You see the student section down there getting very excited.
And this is another atmosphere that's big today. I mean, you look at the student section, they're active. They're creating a lot of noise, getting behind this Red Devil team, and these players seem to be feeding off of it.
As Butler goes to Neubauer, that one no good for 3, rebounded once again by McElmurray. He drives up the floor. Hank Thomas was calling for the ball in the corner, just a lot of traffic. McElmurray making the smart play to not throw that one away. And then he will throw it up the alley-oop. Bennington will lay that one in for 2. As now Butler brings it right back up the floor. It's Iowa Wesleyan team scrambling to answer. That lead just quickly erased. Now Eureka up by 10. As number 2 for Iowa Wesleyan, that'll be Jared Fernandez will put it up and in for 2 off the backboard. As McElmurray works quickly, has one-on-one. Not too many people are going to cover him in that situation. That time it is up and in with the left and 1.
And you're going to find a hard time trying to stop him one-on-one, as you saw right there.
We talked about that. Number 23 for Iowa Wesleyan, Cameron Mack, trying to guard McElmurray one-on-one. You're going to struggle to find anybody in this conference who can handle that job, folks. That's just a rough assignment to draw, especially when Eureka there spreading the floor, giving him that isolation opportunity. He gets to the basket easily. As he cannot convert the and one, that is rebounded by Iowa Wesleyan, and Butler gives it up to Neubauer. Right back to Butler as he will try to work inside to Fernandez. Back out to Mack. That ball tipped away by Feehan. They'll go back across half court, but tipped, and Butler will get it back. As now they go back to Cameron Mack. He will put up the floater. It is up and good. Cutting the lead to 8 here, 26-18. Eureka College with 13 minutes left in the first half. As McElmurray works right side, gets the play from head coach Chip Wilde. He'll give it to Bennington at the top of the key. He works to Feehan, who will hand it off. Feehan catches a body there, but Bennington with the spin move puts it in baseline.
And that was a very smooth play by Bennington right there. You know, caused a little bit of chaos there with collision and still gets the shot up.
And you see great defense there from Jordan Dame as Mitchell Dre's shot is blocked, and then Fernandez able to get the rebound, put in for 2, but he was wide open, and then able to knock that ball away there was Jordan Dame. As Feehan now will drive to the lane. He puts that one up and in between 4 Iowa Wesleyan defenders.
So quick to the basket, just so hard to stop, either shooting the ball deep, putting the ball on the floor, and taking it to the basket. It's just good to watch.
And Neubauer trying to get something going. Started hot, has definitely cooled down since, as he will give the ball back to Dre. As Eureka has switched to a 2-3 zone here. Started in the man, didn't like that matchup. but now Neubauer will put it in 4-2, just a little bit of space there. And now McElmurray already up and running on the left side, slows it down, lets the offense get set. Jordan Dame working down low. He'll give it to Hank Thomas. Hank Thomas works right side. He kicks it out to Jordan Dame, back to McElmurray on the wing, as he will find Bennington wide open, throws it down over Mitchell Dre. Unbelievable there, catching the body down low, throws that one down with the slam. That was an unbelievable one, folks. You will see that time and time again in the highlights here.
You know, and they don't call him Mr. Bounce for nothing. That was insane. This whole gym is going nuts right now. That was awesome. That might have been the coolest basketball play that I've seen in my 3 years here.
Yeah, definitely since we've been here, we have not seen something like that. Driving to the hole, putting him on a poster. Unbelievable there, making his presence known here in his first contest at home. Dakota Bennington certainly getting people fired up. You see the student section out, run along the baseline there. Unbelievable as he converts the and one. Amazing play there from Dakota Bennington. As now momentum certainly with Eureka, as Brady Sanders has checked into the game for McElmurray, giving him a bit of a break there. As now Sanders will step out on Butler, contest that one, but a big hit there from Butler, trying to answer after that three-point play from Eureka. As now Brady Sanders will have the ball right side, accompanied by Bennington up top. He will slowly work right. Short pass there to Feehan. Feehan will reset, 17 left on the shot clock. Pass to Juergens. Juergens into Bennington, the no-look pass to Sanders. Sanders just out of his reach. He'll try to tip back in. That'll go out of bounds. A good look there by Bennington, just a no-look pass, a tad bit off. Turnover for the Red Devils. Iowa Wesleyan will regain possession, down 33-25. As now number 11, Johnson, back in the game as they will give it to Butler. Butler will drive to the lane, get an and one of his own here as he is fouled down low by the Red Devils. Butler is looking to be a key piece of this offense for Iowa Wesleyan. We've seen a lot of Butler and Neubauer trying to get something going here.
You know, and credit those guys, too. They keep coming at this Red Devils team and keeping this game close. Not afraid to drive to the basket. They've gotten a couple fouls. They got a couple three-point shots to go. So it'll be an interesting game down the stretch.
As that free throw is missed, but rebounded by Neubauer. Now Butler gets another shot at three. He'll knock that one down. Butler with the answer. This Iowa Wesleyan team certainly showing a lot of toughness and determination here, not letting this one get out of hand when Eureka's had several big plays.
You know, and they've done a good job of answering every time Eureka does have a big play. They come right back down the floor, knock open the shot, keeps this game close.
As Banks almost tips the ball away from Feehan there, but he will recover. Sanders now hands it off to Feehan. Feehan gets a little bit of room in contact. He misses that shot, but it is rebounded by Sanders. As it appears they reset the shot clock here. It appeared the shot hit the rim, but the referee says no, and they will put 5 seconds on the shot clock. It looks like they might overturn it as they're discussing it here. Certainly would be big, Eureka having to draw something up. Feehan, as of now, set to inbound underneath the basket. But now they will, in fact, reset the shot clock. 28 seconds as they had it right here over at the scorer's table. And now Feehan will look to inbound.
Now just a quick glance over at that student section. Like we talked about in the women's game, if they don't agree with the call, they will not be afraid to let you know about it.
As that a great tip there from Bennington, once again going up and over the top. Will the defenders try to pinch on him? He tips it right to Sanders, wide open two underneath the basket. Easy two there, great inbounds play drawn up by head coach Chip Wilde. As now Butler again will attempt to answer. That shot is up, he gets a shooter's roll. That one is good. 35-32 here, 10 minutes left in the first half.
And Butler's come out shooting pretty well. We've seen him knock down a couple threes, take the ball to the hoop, draw a couple fouls. He's doing a great job.
As now Juergens will find an open Dame inside. Dame doing a good job getting the seal there. Turnaround jumper, good, 4-2. As now Banks will work up right side to Johnson. Banks now back to Butler. Now Banks right side guarded by Feehan. He'll give it back to Butler. Butler certainly trying to work one-on-one as Johnson's three up long, no good, rebounded by Bennington. Bennington gives it to Sanders. Sanders, Neubauer hitting the floor a little bit there, but he will recover. Sanders giving it back to Bennington. You've got two Red Devils there on the right side. Dame calling for it. As now Sanders will give it back to Feehan. They'll reset with 15. See Banks having to close here on Feehan, so he had a little bit of space. That's all he needs. As Bennington's turnaround is up and good. Quickly inbounded, brought up the court by Banks. Back to Butler. Butler working right side to Fernandez. He gives it back to Elijah Johnson. Now Banks looks to work inside, back to Johnson, thinks about it. Now Newbauer will try to drive baseline. With the long bounce pass across to Butler. Good closeout there by Feehan. And we see that shot is long, not hitting the rim there, rebounded by Juergens. So he will give it to Sanders. Sanders slows it down just a bit, just letting the offense get set. As he gets it back from Feehan, gets some space. Bennington wide open for three. He will knock that one down. You can tell he knew that was going in the hole before it left his hand.
You know, just watching him play in this first half here, he is just another great piece to complement an already great lineup. As you can see, he is just single-handedly taking this game over right now.
So you could see, as if this team wasn't already loaded enough, ready to make that run at the championship. Bennington coming in, looking like maybe that piece that Eureka needed to put him right over the top.
You know, and he's done a little bit of everything. He's rebounded, he's passed, he's shot, he's done everything that's been asked of him, and this team is just looking better and better.
Yeah, this team, Chip Wilde couldn't have done a better job of getting that transfer at the semester. Some new blood, you wonder how he's going to fit in. He hasn't missed a beat. This team, we talked about the culture, these local guys. Bennington, another guy. These guys have known since they were younger, coming back home and certainly putting on a show here for the folks. Throwing that one down in traffic, putting the man on the poster. Like you mentioned, that's the best basketball play I've seen since I've been here in my 3 years. Certainly one that got the crowd fired up. As we get our stats here with 8:31 left, Eureka pushing that lead to 10 points, 42-32. Wiegand grabbing a couple of boards here for the Red Devils as he will check back in. Dame with 2, McElmurray with 7, Thomas with 5, Shea Feehan with 14, getting 10 of them in 3 straight possessions. And then Dakota Bennington coming off the bench, has not missed a shot yet, 5 for 5 from the floor, 1 of 1 from 3, made his free throw. Perfect shooting. He is adding 12 points for this Red Devil squad. As now Johnson will kick to Fernandez on the left side, has a little bit of space, guarded by Dame, tries to work down low, puts it up, no good, rebounded by Juergens. So he will get it to McElmurray as McElmurray pushes up right side. He will kick right, that ball is tipped out of bounds by Banks. He was looking for Hank Thomas. Talked about he likes to spot up in the corner there. Just a little bit of hand in the passing lane there by Banks, as now Hank Thomas will inbound it to Wiegand, who gives it right back to Thomas. That 3 is just short, no good.
You know, and that's a rare miss by Hank Thomas on that shot because, like you said, he just sets up right in that corner and knocks that shot down. That's his bread and butter right there.
Good awareness, though, knowing he just passed it to Wiegand. Wiegand knowing to give it right back to him. He just had enough space there. Like you mentioned, you're going to give Hank Thomas that shot every time. As that shot no good from Johnson, tipped to Thomas by Dame. As he will look to the corner to Juergens. He will drive baseline. In a little bit of contact. He'll catch a body, put that one up and in for 2. This Red Devil team certainly not afraid to get to the basket right now. We talk about the shooting, but they are just driving to the hole, pounding it down low.
You know, and we've talked about it. How many times have we seen another guy come off the bench, put the ball in the hoop, and this Red Devil team just continues and continues, and they don't skip a beat at all.
As they will call a foul there on McElmurray. It is 42-32 here for Eureka College with 7:15 left in the half. Just a great atmosphere here. Certainly the players buying into it, everyone getting excited for this contest. A big conference matchup here early in the season. About the halfway point, as now we will see Dre step in, and a long 2 knocks it down. As now Dame inbounds to McElmurray, who will get the play from the sideline there as Coach Chip Wilde yells it out for him. McElmurray will give it to Thomas, who will swing it left to Juergens. Juergens looking in low, a little bit of clutter down there as Dame and Wiegand both coming to the block. But now McElmurray will hit that step back again, but that rebound is tipped out of bounds by Johnson. Eureka will maintain possession there as guard Shea Feehan checks right back into the game. You won't see him on the bench for too long in this offense with Coach Chip Wilde. He'll check out, get a quick breather, and hop right back in. You
know, and they love to get Shea involved in the game as early as possible. You'll see him bring the ball up the floor, be a shooting guard, do everything, and that's why Chip likes to keep him in the game so much.
Yeah, certainly a guy. It's hard to argue. How could you keep him out of the game? He's just the leading scorer in the country, putting up an unbelievable numbers early in the season, averaging well over 30 to start the season. Has cooled down a little bit now. A lot of that scoring attack has spread out. You saw teams start to focus on him, but now Bennington steps in. Bennington's been averaging up around 20. Hank Thomas is averaging high teens. A lot of scoring threats here, and not one facet at all when we talk about not just a shooting team anymore. This team drives to the basket.
And that just plays on the athleticism that this team has, like we touched on. Even Jordan Dame right there, playing the guard spot almost and coming out and making a good shot.
Yeah, another assist there by McElmurray. To Dame, credit Dame there. Almost lost the ball on the way up, but able to stay strong, put it in as Dre tries to drive on Wiegand. The hook shot up, no good. Rebounded by Feehan. Feehan will push up the floor. He will go right past the defender trying to set up, take a charge there. Rebounded. The touch pass from Hank Thomas, but Shea Feehan diving, hitting the floor, tipped that out to Thomas, who put it high up and off the glass, but no good. Rebounded by Banks. As now Hank Thomas will pick up a foul, trying to pick that one out of Banks' pocket right there. That team, Shea Feehan playing very unselfish basketball, putting the body on the line, diving, and tipping that ball back to his team.
You know, and having a team that loves to pass the ball, find that open shooter, and knock down open shots, very hard to beat. We've seen it. Iowa Wesleyan doing their best to keep up. Eureka just finding that extra pass, that extra wide open guy, and knocking down shots. As
now Butler will inbound to Neubauer. As Neubauer brings the ball up the court, he'll give it to Dre as he works right side, sets a screen for Butler. He'll kick back out to the three-point arc. As he tries to work one-on-one versus Dame, he will put up the floater. That is just good. Not a lot Dame could do there. Just a nice finish by Neubauer. So now McElmurray quickly pushes up to Thomas. Thomas trapped in the corner. We'll kick it back to McElmurray as they will slow things down. Get a screen from Dame here. Get that switch. Now Dame guarded by Neubauer. Back to Feehan. An open McElmurray as he will step. Hank Thomas with the jab step. Gets the defender blowing by him and puts in the two from the left wing. As Banks brings it back up the floor quickly, trying to answer as Eureka pushes this lead to 12. Now Dre guarded by Wiegand. As we see Cameron Mack back in the game, trying to work, cutting through the lane. Now Banks will work one-on-one versus Hank Thomas. No good. Long rebound to Dame. Dame doing a good job of setting up backside there. Getting that one set. Dame will attempt the three long. It is no good by Butler.
You know,
Butler rebounds that basketball, brings it up the floor.
We've seen Dame time and time again take that shot. Coach trusts him to knock that shot down. Makes him very hard to guard.
Yeah, big man that a lot of people give some space to. They don't respect that three. As now Butler gets another chance for an and one. Fouled there. Good defense, it appeared, by McElmurray, but must have gotten a little piece of him on the way down, because on the way up it appeared McElmurray had his hand right on the ball as Bennington checks back in for Jordan Dame. So when we talked about the size of Bennington, you see Dame checking out right there. Eureka not losing any sides, but gaining some athleticism.
Yeah, you know, you come in and look at this Eureka team. You don't see them very big, but then you look and see their athleticism kind of takes over for that, and they just are one of the most athletic teams that probably in the conference.
You see this team, definitely a lot of drive, a lot of athleticism. As Wiegand sets a screen, will slip there. That shot no good, rebounded by Neubauer. As Neubauer outlets to Banks. Banks will try to drive by Feehan. That shot is no good. They will call him for the charge anyway. Wiegand swatting it off the backboard. But Shea Feehan getting back in transition, definitely selling that one, getting the contact, and making that a Iowa Wesleyan turnover. As now Bennington inbounds to McElmurray. McElmurray will slowly bring it up the timeline. Eureka up by 9. Bennington to Thomas, back to Bennington. He'll swing left to Feehan, right back to Bennington, trying to work in low. But he will find Hank Thomas. He will play a little give and go with Wiegand, but now Thomas's pass inside stolen away by Dre. Butler brings up the court, guarded by McElmurray. Dre will set a screen for Butler. They will switch. Matchup Iowa Wesleyan Pierce wants to see, but Butler will drive to the hole, put that one up and in. Another highly contested shot. Butler's gotten to fall.
You know, and he shot extremely well, driving to the basket. Just a great basketball player.
Yeah, Butler certainly the heart and soul of this Iowa Wesleyan team. Their major scoring threat. It seems like a lot of times the offense is just give the ball to Butler, let him work. As he will come down, attempt another three. This time no good. Rebounded, hard fought for by Bennington as he will get it an outlet to McElmurray. Now McElmurray guarded by Butler. Bennington with a deep three. That one just a bit long, no good. Tipped around by Wiegand, but now rebounded by Neubauer. Neubauer working up the middle of the floor, back to Butler. Butler guarded by McElmurray. As now to Neubauer. Feeds it inside to Dre. Dre guarded by Wiegand as he will swing it to Banks. That extra pass to Cameron Mack, and he will be fouled by Bennington. Going for two, no good, but he will head to the line for a pair of free throws. You see here this Eureka team trying to slow things down a little bit, trying to play their game, but they're trying to work in and out. Not a lot there. Credit the Iowa Wesleyan defense for trying to cut off those passing lanes a little bit here after Eureka was so successful early driving to the hole.
You know, and that was probably part of the game plan. Shut down the outside shot. Don't let them get easy looks. And so far, Iowa Wesleyan has done a pretty good job at doing so. And it'll be interesting to see how Eureka can come back and figure something out to beat this Iowa Wesleyan defense.
As Mack will knock down both there, 48-43, just under 3:30 left here in the half. Now Hank Thomas will bring the ball up right side as point guard Ryan McElmurray will check out of the game for a quick breather. So now Juergens turns around. He will knock that one down, just extend from the free throw line. Way to check in from Juergens and immediately make an impact there as Iowa Wesleyan pushes quickly to Neubauer, who will be trapped in the corner. Give it to Mack to Banks. He will fake a pass, try to work inside, back to Neubauer, who will throw it up from three. No good. Rebounded by Juergens. Gives up to Hank Thomas. He is off and running. He looks, finds Bennington in the quarter. Bennington with some space. It is just no good. Rebounded by Juergens. The tip in, no good. Now Bennington there. He will try to get the rebound, put it up and in, but is no good. However, he will draw the foul and head back to the line. This team just grinding there. You see Bennington doing a good job. A lot of times you hear coaches yelling, follow your shot. You just see guys stand there, kind of wait after the shot. Bennington was getting to the lane. Juergens, the tip in wasn't good, but Bennington was there for another second chance point.
You know, and after he fouls his shot, it leads to another good second shot, misses that one, gets his own rebound again, and gets free throws. So, I mean, this team has done a very good job of fighting for the ball, getting those second chance points, doing whatever they can to get this lead a little higher before half.
As now Bennington will knock down the first free throw. Attempting to go 2 for 2 once again from the line as this one's just short. Rebounded by Butler. Quickly outletted to Banks on the right side. Banks has some space, but he'll give it back to Butler. Iowa Wesleyan definitely wants it in his hands. As now Neubauer will drive, put up a bit of a floater in the lane, rebounded by Juergens there with the pass to Hank Thomas. You can see Shea Feehan calling out, wanting Juergens in the opposite corner as they will work inside to Bennington. Great no-look pass to Wiegand there. Great court vision, great court awareness there. Wiegand puts it in for two.
You know, and the wherewithal to realize that he had an open player behind him and give him that no-look pass, that was about as smooth as they come.
As now Iowa Wesleyan skips the ball across left side to Butler. He'll give it back out to Banks, 15 on the shot clock. Banks tries to drive. Backdoor cut there by Fernandez. That one no good. Rebounded by Bennington. As Bennington will push up the floor. He tries to drive through traffic. He puts that one up. No good. High flying rebound by Wiegand. That one no good. Tipped around. Eventually rebounded by Dre. Dre now will try to drive. They don't want the ball in his hands coming up the court. Trying to get rid of it. He will pass it off to Banks. Banks now fakes inside to Dre, right back to him. Now Dre will get the ball back out to Neubauer. And Banks' three will be up. Long, no good. Rebounded by Bennington. So he will outlet to Shea Feehan running out in transition. He gets a step in the corner. That three is up. No good. Rebounded by Neubauer. Neubauer now will bring the ball across half court, working to the right side. He will give the ball to Dre in the corner. Dre kicks it right back to Neubauer. They will swing it all the way across to Butler, who has a little bit of space. That three, no good. Long rebound. They'll just let that one roll out of bounds. Eureka basketball up 10 here with 1:07 left in the first half. Now with 1:07 here, this 10-point lead, certainly think Eureka wants to keep pushing this, but they certainly can't afford to let Iowa Wesleyan. This team certainly looks like one that'll pounce at any moment. This Eureka team high firing, but also we've seen Butler go on spurts where he's knocked down a bunch of shots, gotten to the free throw line.
And he's gotten hot, and he has just kept this Iowa Wesleyan team in the game with this great shot-making ability.
And right there, Juergens with a nice little pass to Wiegand, slipping off a screen, puts it in for two. 45 seconds left here. Just enough time for two more possessions here. As now Neubauer works the ball inside to Dre. Looking for a cutting Butler going baseline as he will try to work. That one tipped out of his hand by Wiegand. And the pass down low somehow gets through to Fernandez, but it will be tipped away now to Bennington. As he will go behind the back and get it right back, but he will be fouled. Trying to get a little fancy there as Bennington went behind the back to Juergens. Juergens trying to set him up for the alley-oop, but that pass just a little bit behind him. However, he will corral it and get fouled and head to the line for two more free throws.
You know, and Eureka looks like they want to keep the ball in Bennington's hands. He's had the hot hand early. We saw him with the dunk. We saw him with the open three. Been to the line 3 or 4 times. You know, he's just carried this team so far in this game.
He's done a great job stepping in. His home opener, he has definitely put on a show for this crowd. Everyone used to seeing Shea Feehan as the highest scorer, and once again, he has poured it on early. Shea Feehan still putting up those unbelievable scoring numbers, but Bennington also chipping in a lot of points there as he knocks down another pair of free throws.
You know, and you see Feehan and Bennington kind of working together. One gets the ball, one's going to be open, alleviate some of the pressure so both of them don't have to score as much because both of these guys are tremendous scorers.
Yeah, definitely opens up the floor for both of them, gives them both a lot more opportunities. As now Dre will knock down a three with about 10 seconds left. Eureka looks to push the ball up the floor, up by 11, and Feehan will be fouled there by Neubauer. And now with Eureka in the bonus, Feehan will head to the line to shoot free throws. As coming up at halftime here, we will have former players and coaches announced here on Alumni Day at the Reagan Center. That first free throw attempt is good. Those halftime festivities will take place immediately following the buzzer, where we will take a quick break and come back to you with all your stats before we get started and close out this basketball game. As now Feehan knocks down both. And with 5 seconds left, Banks pushes the ball up the floor. He looks to Butler from the volleyball line. That one just short, no good. Eureka College heads into the break up 59-46. Great showing there early. This Eureka team following in the footsteps of the women before them, putting it on early, not taking their foot off the gas pedal. It certainly appears that they've done the same thing. I'm Thomas Harrison. Alongside me, Jake Schnolling. We will be back after our halftime festivities here in the Christine Minotti Bullwinkle Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 97th season of Eureka College men's basketball and the 43rd season of Eureka College women's basketball. Since 1919, hundreds of students have participated in Red Devil basketball, playing in 3,167 games. These teams have been led by 27 head coaches. At this time, please join Eureka College President Dr. Jamel Santa Cruz Wright and Director of Athletics Steve Thompson, recognizing these individuals. As their names are read, please hold your applause until the end. Michaela Malducci, 2017. Nate Bell, 2017. 2013. Sam Feehan, 2016. Emily Camden Fellner, 2016. Kylie Mineski, 2014. Katie Eaton Bain, 2014, and our all-time leading scorer. Mark Lesson, 2013. Josh Wagner, 2011. Michael Zasada, 2010, a Hall of Fame member. Jackie Brule Taylor, 2001, Hall of Fame member. From the 1994 Men's Basketball National Championship Team, Jeff Tyler, 1998. Doug Hatterman, 1997, represented by his father Jim. Chris Carter, 1997. Ryan Markley, 1995. Randy McColl, 1994. Troy Tyler, 1994, Hall of Fame member, and our all-time leading scorer. Dennis Hartlocker, 1994. Stan Prosser, coach, player, 1979, and a Hall of Famer. Bonnie Darnell, Coach Darnell's inspiration and better half. Coach Dave Darnell, our head men's coach from 1974 to 1994. Coach of the 1917 and the 1994 national champions, and a Hall of Fame member, Coach Dave Darnell. Sandy Schuster, our head women's coach from 1991 to 2007, and a former director of athletics. Karen Schweitzer, assistant women's coach. Nancy LaCurcia, head women's coach from 1983 to 1991, and a Hall of Fame member. Jay Brewer, our head men's coach from 2004 to 2007. Current head coach, Chip Wilney, head coach since 2007, and our current women's head coach, Enos Arbogast. Assistant coaches, Ryan Todd, Mike Pryor, and camp coaches, Dan Harris, 67, Ken Miller, Ron Eaton, Clay Cantrell, Gary Hyder, Tim Corey, Chris Sharkey, Jamie Wild Ward, class of 94, and a Hall of Fame member. John Goody, 1993, Hall of Fame member. Devin Passenger Kaufman, 1993. Mike Helen, 1992, who's represented by his wife Julie. Mike Allen, 1992. Lori Dexter Martin, 1990. Tom Dooley, 1990, Hall of Fame member. Steve Redmond, 1990. Eric Burkett, 1988. Bill Schultz, 1986. Scott Burgess, 1985. Jane Brooks Grisham, 1983. Tom Fisher, 1983. George Van Winkle, 1983. Liz Johan Redmond, 1981. Tim Stocks, 1981. Bruce Beggars, 1981. Joe Slimek, 1981. T. Moore, 1980. Pat Hayes, 1980. Norm Edwards, 1979. Dave Chandler, 1979. Van Wilson, 1979. Harry Williams, 1979. Reggie Holmes, 1979, and a Hall of Fame member. Bruce Dillon, 1977. Greg Hasty, 1977. Craig Gertis, 1971, and a Hall of Fame member. Larry Denzel, 1970. Player and coach. Roger Aristotle, 1963. Ron Crosby, 1959, and a Hall of Fame member. Earl Martin, 1959. Lauren Logsdon, 1958. Dwayne Heron, 1957. And finally, from the class of 1941, Leo Doc Twister. The head coach from 1957 until 1974, and a Hall of Fame member, Doc Twister. Ladies and gentlemen, please join Eureka College and give this fantastic group of alumni another round of applause for the men and women of Eureka College basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, the Eureka College dance team will be performing in center court. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please bring your attention to center court for our Eureka College dance team.
Hello and welcome back. Once again, I'm Thomas Harrison, alongside me, Jacob Schnolly, as we prepare for this second half of basketball. Very nice presentation there at the half for our alumni basketball players and coaches. Great to see everyone coming out and supporting here on Alumni Day, as we had that exciting first half of basketball from Eureka College, up 59-46 here. The stats, a couple things that really jump out. We've talked about the dynamic duo of Feehan and Bennington. Feehan pouring in 16 along with Bennington's 15, shooting a very high percentage from the floor. This team shooting 56%, 83% from the free throw line. A great job there. But this lead we've seen with performances like that, you might expect the lead to be a little bit bigger. We've seen the duo from Iowa Wesleyan of Neubauer and Butler also pouring in 17 and 16 respectively. These two guards, a very good matchup for Feehan and Bennington.
You know, it's been a good back-and-forth matchup, like you said, with the guards, Neubauer and Butler from Iowa Wesleyan versus Feehan and Bennington, keeping this game close. These forward players have really helped make this a pretty interesting and exciting game to watch. The back-and-forth of it has really kept it, the fans engaged, and that's what's making it fun.
Yeah, we've seen certainly early on McElmurray making a big difference here for Eureka College with 7 assists, pouring in 7 points as well in just 13 minutes. He is the facilitator for this team. We've seen multiple times in transition, he forces the turnover and then just gets out and runs, finds that open Eureka College shooter. The play that really stood out to me for McElmurray was when he got the ball on the right wing, wide open, nobody within 7 or 8 feet of him. And instead of taking that shot, which most guards wouldn't even think about hesitating on, he drives inside, takes 2 steps, draws the defense, and then finds Feehan wide open in the corner. And Feehan is able to put the 3 up and get fouled coming back down to convert for the 4-point play. Just very unselfish basketball there.
You know, and we touched on it. When this offense is on, it's because McElmurray's playing his best basketball. And like you said, that is one of his best plays of the half, giving that wide open shot back to Feehan, knocking it down. Like, it doesn't go in the record books, but when you look at this game and you watch him play, you realize how good of a passer and a point guard he truly is.
Yeah, just amazing showing so far. As we get ready here to start the second half of action, the Red Devils will come out with the 5 of McElmurray, Dame, Feehan, Wiegand, and Hank Thomas, the starting 5 they went with to begin this contest. But this team certainly putting on a show for the crowd here at home. We've seen those 4-point plays where Feehan got the crowd fired up, and Bennington comes right back down the floor and throws one down in transition. Absolutely put Dre on a poster.
And just an athletic player that he has. He is fantastic, you know, and this team's just not skipping a beat.
As Eureka will get possession to start the second half here. Feehan works right. He tries to drive in the lane, finds an open Wiegand on the wing. That shot up, no good, rebounded by Butler. Butler will now work up the floor to Neubauer. Neubauer will hesitate. He will go behind the back into the lane. He finds a wide open Johnson. The lefty 3 is up, no good, rebounded by Dame. Now McElmurray with the ball. He'll slow it down, bring it across the court. As you can tell, Chip Wilde wanting that motion here. As now Hank Thomas swings it left to Feehan, who'll give it to Dame, who finds an open McElmurray on the backdoor cut, but a nice block there by Dre. Now Neubauer brings the ball up the court, has a little bit of space. He will find Dre, who will put up the 3 ball. It is good. Iowa Wesleyan opens up the scoring here in the second half with that 3 from Dre, as Eureka will bring the ball up the right side with McElmurray. He gives it to Jordan Dame. Jordan Dame back to Thomas, a little bit of back and forth, swing it left to Feehan. As he'll work inside to Wiegand, who will kick back out to Feehan. That 3 is up and good. Feehan answering with a 3 of his own here in the second half.
And you saw a little bit of ball movement there, allowing Feehan to get wide open, and he does not miss those wide open shots.
As Neubauer here goes right back to Butler. You can tell those two the primary scoring threats here as Banks tries to get in on the action. He will get back to Neubauer. Dre puts up another tray. This time it is no good. That rebound tipped. Feehan gets the ball, splits the defenders, jumps in the air, gives it to Thomas. Thomas will drive, put up the runner with the right hand, and it goes down for Hank Thomas.
And he's another guy who amazes me how he gets some of these shots to fall. Such an athletic shooter and basketball player.
Yeah, oftentimes smallest guy on the floor, but definitely not the weakest. He is a very strong player, and he will push through that contact, and he is very smart. Great court awareness as he will come up with a steal right there. No look pass to McElmurray, who will put in the 2. As now Banks tries to bring the ball up the floor. Eureka already off to another hot start, out and running. As Banks will get a screen from Dre. He will work inside, kick out to Johnson, back to Butler. Butler trying to get some space here. He'll give it to Dre inside. A little in and out game here as Dre steps just inside the three-point arc. He will pass to Neubauer right at the free throw line, who will put that jumper up and in. McElmurray quickly starting the counterattack as he will work around the right side of the three-point line, but he will slow it down, kick it out to Dame. Now he will work right side to Thomas. Right back to Dame. He thinks about it, works inside to McElmurray as they get the triangle offense working here. As now McElmurray kicks it out to Hank Thomas, who knocks that one down the corner over Butler.
Hank Thomas is a very great shooter. Sometimes he does get overlooked by Feehan, but don't forget Hank Thomas is one of the better shooters on this team.
As now Johnson kicks it to Banks. Banks will try to drive inside, work back out to Johnson. Back to Neubauer, who goes behind the back, works left against Thomas. He finds the backdoor cut to Butler. That one tipped away by Wiegand. That'll roll about, but be corralled by Banks as now that shot is up, no good, rebounded by Dre. So we'll get a new 30 seconds as Johnson drives to the hole, unable to finish that lay-in, but he will get fouled. Definitely wants that one back, the easy lay-in, just a little bit long there as he will head to the free throw line.
It's something early we've seen from this Iowa Wesleyan team, fighting for those extra rebounds, getting those second chance opportunities. Didn't see a lot of that in the first half, but the second half started. Iowa Wesleyan coming, crashing the boards, getting those opportunities to get points and get to the free throw line.
As the first free throw attempt is up and no good. It is 69-51 here for Eureka College. As his second free throw is up and good, cutting that lead to 17 here. Eureka definitely pushing that lead. Started at 10 at the half, but quickly pouring in some offense here. As now Dame works right side. Gets up top to Feehan. He'll go left side to McElmurray, who will take a step, drive, kick left side to Hank Thomas in. That one is good. You expect that to go down 9 out of 10 times. That is Hank Thomas's shot.
And he's just a great shooter. Great. Him and Feehan work so well, taking the outside three-point shots. And when they both are on like they are tonight, it is hard to stop them.
As now Johnson will try to answer with a three of his own. It is no good. Rebounded by Dame. You can see McElmurray calling for it quickly as he will push the ball up the floor. He goes between the legs, splits the defenders. He will put up a three. That one is no good, but rebounded by Wiegand, tipped back in. Great athleticism there from Alex Wiegand. As now Neubauer will bring the ball up right side, working on Thomas. He'll go over the top to Banks. Banks able to corral, had to go high up for that one. So he will kick to Johnson right side. They will work inside to Dre. Neubauer up top, 2-3 zone look coming out of that break for Eureka, as he will have a nice pass to Banks and then kick back out to Dre. Dre knocks that one down, and there's a timeout from Iowa Wesleyan here. 74-55, Eureka College, 15-40 heading into that timeout.
And Dre's come out shooting the ball extremely well to start the second half.
Yeah, Dre, a guy you didn't expect to see shooting a lot. It certainly seemed in the first half. He got those looks passed up on him. Have to wonder if the coach didn't go in there at halftime and say, hey, you've got to take that shot if you're open. We know you can knock it down. Showing a lot of trust in the big man.
And for Iowa Wesleyan to keep this lead close in the second half, they have to make shots because, like we talked about, Feehan, Thomas, McElmurray, Bennington, those guys get hot. It could spell a lot of trouble for this Iowa Wesleyan team.
Yeah, once these guys get hot, it is hard to stop. This backcourt featuring Thomas, Feehan, Bennington, McElmurray, Sanders when he checks in. It's hard to stop. You can put it in any of their hands. They'll knock down a shot. They'll blow right by you. And you've seen from the athleticism, you've seen these guys will drive and kick. And Bennington showing he's not afraid to go up in contact and throw it down. As we get the stats here from our SID, we see 18 for Neubauer, 17 for Butler. Now Dre adding in 11, 4 for Fernandez and Mack, and 1 for Elijah Johnson. For the Red Devil squad, 19 from Feehan, 15 from Thomas now, putting his name in the ring, with 15 from Bennington, 4 for Juergens, 2 for Sanders, and 6 from Wiegand. Wiegand putting up good rebounding numbers again with 6. And Juergens also adding 5. McElmurray already with 9 points and 9 assists, as he will throw up the lob there for Bennington, just unable to corral it, but Wiegand gets it back. Now Bennington will go for the reverse lay-in and put it in.
He might be one of the most exciting players to watch. The way he can get up, play the game of basketball, he's just a great player.
As Dre knocks down another triple there, Bennington, you can certainly see, was kind of disappointed with himself. That pass there, he just mistimed the jump a little bit, but certainly a play you're probably going to see again. You've seen his athleticism. You talked about these guys call him Mr. Bounce. There's a reason he can certainly get up. As now Thomas with the no-look on the baseline. That one's stripped away. Wiegand there going for the slam, but Butler will kick it up to Johnson. As Dre, certainly the hot hand, looking to keep it going. So now Butler's three will be up and good, as Iowa Wesleyan looks to make a little bit of a run of their own. As now this Eureka lead cut to 15, pardon me. As now McElmurray will come across half court. He gives it to Hank Thomas, left side to Feehan. In the corner, Wiegand, as Feehan will cut right side, get some space, another deep three with some contact, and that one is no good, rebounded by Butler. As now Dre will have the ball at the three-point line. He will go out to Neubauer. That one no good, rebounded by McElmurray, and he will push quickly. He finds Wiegand in transition. Wiegand goes up with contact. They're able to hang and lay that one in for two.
You know, and we've seen Wiegand be able to get those hard contact points, and he's one of the best guys on this team that's able to do that.
As now Neubauer will spin away from Feehan. He will look to the free throw line. He will kick out to Johnson, back up top to Dre. Dre now to Butler, guarded by Thomas. He'll try to drive right. That shot up, a floater, no good. He will tip it out of bounds himself. That will be Eureka basketball. As now Cameron Mack checks back in for Elijah Johnson. As the Tigers get some fresh blood in here. Certainly a quickly paced second half. Already 6:16 off the clock here, and it seems like this half just started.
Yeah, and credit to these teams, you know, really wanting to push the ball up the floor. They're playing a very clean basketball game. Not many turnovers, not many fouls, not many, you know, miscues that have allowed, and that has allowed them to continue this fast pace of basketball.
As Bennington gets stripped there, and Wiegand doing a good job of cutting off the sideline there and forcing Iowa Wesleyan to lose the ball out of bounds. But they will retain possession there, allowing Eureka to just get back on defense, get set. In a quickly paced game, you've got to take advantage of those opportunities to get back and get set, get a little bit of a breather. As now Banks will drive the lane, put up a floater, and his runner is good, as Eureka will quickly inbound and push to Feehan, who will drive Euro step to the basket for the reverse layup. Through about three defenders there. That one was fancy, folks. That one looked really nice.
And it was smooth. I mean, Shea Feehan is great at getting his own shot regardless. It doesn't matter. Oh, there he goes with the steal.
He goes with the steal. He has guys running in transition. So he will just do it himself, go coast to coast, but just comes up short. Rebounded by Dre. As now Dre, that pass will be stolen away by Wiegand. Wiegand to Bennington. Bennington now stripped by Banks. But they will say that one is out of bounds on Bennington. It appears Banks was the last one to touch the ball there. You can certainly see the athleticism. These guys running up and down the floor. You see Butler walking by us here. You can tell he just looks winded. There are a lot of transition right there, but both teams just being a little bit sloppy with the ball. You just got to take care of it in that instance. You're trying to get something done. They just got to play smooth, clean basketball. As now Dre has the ball. Top of the key, guarded by Bennington. He will kick right side to Banks as Butler comes off a screen, but they will call a foul there on Juergens. Got a little bit of a hold. Didn't want to lose Butler there, as Butler's certainly the dynamic scorer for Iowa Wesleyan.
And Butler has given this Eureka Red Devils defense fits all day. He been knocking down open shots, getting to the rim, drawing fouls. There's not much in his game it doesn't look like he can't do.
Yeah, Butler's certainly a solid player, a great threat for this Iowa Wesleyan team. As Banks inbounds to Dre, and he will give it right back to Banks as he tries to drive past Thomas, and round Q gives it right back to Butler. Butler sets the screen for Banks, but he will kick right back out to the three-point line. As Banks will try to work inside, he will go and put it in with the right hand. As now Bennington inbounds to Feehan, who will give it up to Hank Thomas. Thomas works across the timeline. Eureka College up 15, 80-65 with 12-11 left. As Thomas forced to pick up the dribble, he will give it to Juergens. Juergens drives, gets some space, kicks out to Bennington, the open three, but he will pass it off to Wiegand for the reverse lay-in. Just another unselfish basketball play there. Bennington finding the easy two.
You know, and that good ball movement allowed for that open shot, and we've seen it time and time again on the offensive side for the Red Devils, getting the ball moving, creating some open spaces, and these guards and bigs, when they get the ball in the open space, attack the open space and get easy layups.
As you can see here, Hank Thomas getting called for the foul there. Not too happy about it, just got those arms extended. When the referees see that, doesn't matter if you touch them, oftentimes they're going to make that call. As now Butler gets the ball back at the top of the key. He will try to drive on Juergens. He will kick right side to Banks. As Banks tries to work middle, but he will give it back to Butler for three. He will attempt a shot. That one is good. Another three. Give him a little bit of space, and he'll take it. He is not afraid to take that shot.
Yeah, and he, time and time again today, this afternoon, not even close threes, deeper threes, and he's just knocked them down and stepped up and kept this Iowa Wesleyan team in the game.
As Wiegand and Feehan work back and forth, Wiegand will skip it across the court to Bennington as he will drive baseline. Go up with contact. He will finish with the right hand. As now Banks looks to bring the ball up the floor back to Butler. Butler gives it off to Dre. As Dre has a little bit of space, he will drive. Kicks inside. That one tipped away by Wiegand off of Bennington, off of Juergens, however, and Iowa Wesleyan will retain possession. As now Neubauer and Johnson check back into the game. As now Johnson, his three will be long. And Bennington will drive to the basket, put that one up, no good, with his own rebound. He finds Feehan, a deep three, thinks about it, gives him the head fake, as now he will kick back out to McElmurray. McElmurray on the right side to Juergens. Juergens three, no good. Bennington going up high, tipping that ball, but Iowa Wesleyan will be able to corral it. As now Butler gets the ball, drives left, kicks to Johnson. Butler gets it back, puts that three up. It is no good, but tipped in by Fernandez.
Good work there by Butler and Fernandez, just working hard on the offensive end. Hopefully this Red Devils team exploits them on the defensive end.
As now McElmurray will bring the ball up with Eureka, maintaining that 14-point lead. As they work in and out, now Wiegand's reverse lay-in, no good, with a little bit of contact there. Good look there on the inside-out move, but Butler will bring the ball up the court back to Neubauer. Neubauer tries to drive on McElmurray. He will swing it to Butler. Butler with the head fake. He will drive in the lane. Jump stop. Kick back out to Neubauer on the left wing. That three is up. No good, but rebounded by Cameron Mack. Now Butler's three attempt is up, and that one is good. The second chance points there for Iowa Wesleyan as they get a little bit of momentum here. Head coach Chip Wilde calls a timeout, wants to slow that down. You can definitely see he's frustrated, but credit this Iowa Wesleyan team. Butler here walking to the bench. You can tell he is absolutely gassed. Has not checked out of the game once and is still being that driving force behind this Iowa Wesleyan attack. And
like you said, he hasn't checked out of the game. He has that high motor, great shooter, ability just to keep this team in the game. He's doing everything he can. Every time you see the ball on the floor, he's around it, so he's got to be extremely gassed.
You can see certainly drive here. Both teams, high motor guys. Neither team going with a big rotation. I believe both teams going with about 10 guys. Even less for Iowa Wesleyan there. They just have a 7-man rotation they've been working with. And so you can tell those guys not getting a lot of breaks. They've been gassed but still driving. This Eureka team has definitely been just high-powered early and often, but those little misses Iowa Wesleyan has capitalized on.
And it looked like Iowa Wesleyan out of the halftime has come up with more energy than they had in the first half. You see them fighting for those extra second chance points, fighting for those rebounds, something they didn't do that well in the first half.
Brock Butler now leading all scoring with 26 points. Neubauer with 18 and Dre with 14. For the Red Devils, Feehan, the high scorer for the Red Devils, with 21. Bennington with 19 and Hank Thomas with 15. With Alex Wiegand getting in double digits now with 10. As McElmurray now 1 point away from a double-double with 9 points and 10 assists. As now Feehan will work. Hesitation. Kicks out to Juergens, the head fake. He will drive back out in the corner to Feehan. He gets a jab step, gets a little bit of space, but that three is no good. Rebounded by Fernandez. Fernandez now to Butler, who will bring it slowly across the timeline as he passes to Mack, straight back to Butler, guarded by McElmurray. Butler calling for the screen. He will work off that screen, get a little bit of space, put it two up and in from right inside the three-point arc.
He's got the hot hand right now. He is shooting the lights out, and Eureka's looking for that way to come back and combat that.
As Feehan now drives right off the pass from McElmurray, but he will be fouled by number 2, Fernandez. So you can see Iowa Wesleyan, if they're going to make this comeback, it's going to be on the back of Brock Butler. He just putting on a show here, trying to fight this high-powered Red Devil offense that is still pouring it in themselves. As now Feehan gets the ball around half court, he will pass it off to McElmurray to set up the offense. He'll go back right side to Feehan. That head fake, they've got to respect it as they give it in the right wing to Dame. Dame works back up top. He will get it back to Feehan, a deep three. That one is good. Feehan has that in the gym range they talk about. Anywhere across half court, he will not hesitate to pull up, and right there, a big three.
And Coach Wilde lets him because he has that trust, and Feehan is very good at knocking down even those deepest threes.
As now Johnson gives the ball back to Neubauer. Neubauer will work left, go up over Dame, no good. Rebound rolls around. Dame off his own head. Will corral that one. Give it to McElmurray. As you can tell, Feehan's trying to get that spot in the corner. So he'll give it to Dame, who has a little bit of room. Works inside, out to Juergens. Juergens with a jump stop. Catches a body. Puts it up and in over Fernandez. As now Eureka College with the lead at 89-75 with 8:19 left in this contest. Now Butler has the ball, once again guarded by McElmurray. Gets a screen. As it appears, they will call the foul on McElmurray, even though it appeared Butler might have hit his own guy there and pushed off of him, but from the angle of the official, probably looked like McElmurray, as now Banks and Dre will check back in for Mack and Fernandez.
You could tell McElmurray with that call a little confused, and I don't blame him. He did not look like he pushed anybody, but from the angle of the official, it probably looked that way, unfortunately.
It definitely looked like Butler was trying to come off the screen left and just kind of ran into his own guy and shoved him off of him, trying to get a little bit of space for himself. But it must have looked like from the official that was McElmurray, as now Johnson will hit a three on that left side. But McElmurray pushes quickly, gives it to Feehan. You can tell Feehan's ready to put the team on his back if he needs be. He has got that look in his eye where he just wants the ball in his hands. As now Dame will try to dribble baseline, and that one will go off his leg, out of bounds. And that will be Iowa Wesleyan basketball. Certainly the student section not agreeing with that one right in front of there. You miss a call, they're going to let you hear about it. Being a part of that student section is something that I've cherished a lot. Those guys are very into the game. They create a great atmosphere at basketball games, and they're fun to be around. As now Butler works on McElmurray. Bennington now guarding Dre. Dre will put on the spin, hesitate, go up and in 4-2. Good move there by Dre. Dre certainly coming on strong here in the second half.
And Iowa Wesleyan not getting those shots to fall down in the first half, seem to can't miss in the second half.
As now Bennington will give it back to McElmurray as he will swing up top to Juergens. Juergens with some contact. The defenders collapse on him. McElmurray is wide open for the basket. Once again, great court vision. As now Banks working right side. He's looking to slow it down. Tell Butler just trying to find an opening, but guarded by McElmurray. That's going to be tough. So he works, he kicks to Johnson. As Dre now down low, trying to put the move on once again. He will spin and get another two. Dre, not exactly a big body down there, just tall and lengthy, but some good post moves, and he's definitely put it on. As now Bennington swings right side to Feehan. Back to Bennington. See, we'll work inside to McElmurray, run that triangle. As now McElmurray will look for Feehan with about 10 left on the shot clock. Juergens drives baseline, kicks out, thinks about it. He finds McElmurray. He's open, takes his time, puts the three up, and knocks it down. Big three there for McElmurray. Certainly a guy who's going to look to pass first, but he's shown time and time again he can step up and knock it down if need be. As now Neubauer tries to put the work on Juergens. He will spin to the hole, go up. They will call the foul. It appeared Juergens was straight up there, but Neubauer will get the chance for an and one there with the score 94 Eureka College, 84 Iowa Wesleyan here with just over 6 minutes left in this contest.
And credit this Iowa Wesleyan team. They're not backing down whatsoever. The lead was almost at 20 to start the half, and they've come back roaring and can't miss a shot. And really, Eureka's doing a great job, too, getting the ball in the basket. Down the stretch, going to be quite interesting to see how these two teams go at it.
As that free throw is good. And Alex Wiegand will check into the game for Jordan Dame. Certainly have to think Wiegand, that matchup is going to be Wiegand on Dre. Bit of a more athletic big there for Eureka College, trying to lock down Dre as he's put on that late push down low. As now McElmurray will try to give it to Bennington, guarded very tightly by Banks. Now Banks up top on Juergens, and they will finally get Banks for the foul as he was right up in the face of those Eureka basketball players, and they just were not having it. Banks finally gets the call.
Yeah, and this defense for Iowa Wesleyan really come out a lot more aggressive in the second half, creating sort of a problem for this Red Devils offense.
As now McElmurray has the ball, he will give it right side to Feehan. He will drive, splits the defenders. He will get it to Wiegand, who gives it right back to Feehan. That two is up, no good. Tipped around on the floor and stolen away by Wiegand. Now Bennington will have the ball. They will reset the offense with the fresh shot clock here. As now McElmurray gets the ball, gives it to Feehan left side. He gives it to Juergens. He kicks inside to Bennington. Bennington just leans back, knocks down the fader, extending that Eureka lead to 11.
And we haven't really seen him much in this second half, but if he gets going, watch out. Down the stretch, he could be a big player.
And now Dre kicks it back out to Neubauer, and Neubauer's three is good. This Iowa Wesleyan team is one that is certainly bending but not breaking. They refuse to go away here as Eureka maintains the 8-point lead. McElmurray looking for some space here. Looks to give it to Bennington, but guarded tightly by Neubauer. Finally gets it to him, back to Bennington. Bennington now up top as McElmurray around the free throw line running that triangle offense. He will kick back out right side. McElmurray has the ball, about 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Feehan dribbling on the three-point arc. He will put that one up. That is good. A big three there from Feehan. Running around, his time's running out, and he knocks that one down with a couple of hands in his face. Feehan, like we said, ready to put the team on his back.
He was fun to watch. Clock count down, dribbling around, off-balance three, puts it in. Like, how many players can you say do that?
As now Butler showing his post moves as he gets quick two, spinning there and putting it in. That was lead 99-90. Eureka over Iowa Wesleyan. As the timeout here from the Iowa Wesleyan bench. It is 99-90 Iowa Wesleyan. As now it appears to have been a 30-second timeout. A little bit of confusion there as the teams will get ready to come back on the floor. This game certainly an exciting one, folks. It looked like Eureka was getting ready to run away with it, but Iowa Wesleyan refusing to roll over. So they put on a charge late. This Eureka lead still at 9 because of those big shots like we've seen from Feehan right there. Almost hit the floor just trying to come off a screen there. Just kind of throws it up and knocks it down. Unbelievable possession there from Eureka. Burning a lot of clock, but then still getting that three-point play. As now Bennington will look to inbound the ball to McElmurray. Banks looking to provide a little bit of pressure here up the court. As now Bennington gives it to McElmurray. McElmurray working right side. Crossover a couple times and bring it across half court. Hank Thomas will check back into the game. He gives it to Bennington, who will turn around. That one just long, but rebounded by Wiegand. He comes flying in, and they will say that is out of bounds on Wiegand. Great athletic play right there, but a great job.
Just the body's flying around. Just knocked that ball out of his hands.
As now Butler will look to inbound the ball. You can certainly see head coach Chip Wilde a little frustrated there. Alex Wiegand looked like he kind of got mugged. He had guys just draping all over him. As now Wiegand guarding Dre. So now Johnson kicks to Neubauer. Neubauer looking for Dre down there. Guarded by Wiegand. This is the matchup Chip Wilde wanted as he will kick outside to Banks. Banks passes to Johnson. That shot no good. Rebounded by Hank Thomas. Hank Thomas now gives it to Bennington. Back to McElmurray. Certainly taking their time here. 3.5 minutes, the 9-point lead, 20 left on the shot clock. Feehan will go cross court to Hank Thomas, who gives it to Wiegand on the wing. He finds McElmurray inside, who puts the moves on Johnson, gets the basket and puts it in. Great job creating some space here for McElmurray. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Gets to the basket for two.
He's such a good ball handler. He creates his own open lane sometimes. You saw a great example of that right there.
As now Neubauer tries to go behind the back over Thomas. That one no good. Feehan tips it around. Will eventually come down with the rebound. Now McElmurray looks to slow it down again. This lead at 11, 101-90 Eureka College. So he'll bring it across half court. He gives it to Bennington, who will swing left side to Thomas as they will swing it right back around to the right side. Straight up top to Thomas. That pass looking to get inside to McElmurray, but that'll be off of Neubauer's foot. Kick ball right there. Eureka will retain possession. So now you can see definitely head coach Chip Wilde fired up. That's definitely an exciting game. A packed gym here. People definitely getting into it. As McElmurray now works inside to Bennington, who loses it a little bit but still regains possession, puts it up and in for two. Good look there from McElmurray. As now Iowa Wesleyan pushes up to Johnson. Johnson on the left side to Dre as he'll try to put the spin on Wiegand. He works inside, puts it up, no good. Great defense there by Wiegand. As Hank Thomas now works up the floor, dribbles through a couple defenders as McElmurray had an open look but gave it to Wiegand, who tried to go for the slam, but he gets fouled by Banks as Wiegand will head to the line for 2.
You know, and we've seen Wiegand throw it down pretty hard a couple times. I was getting a little bit excited, hoping Wiegand was about to bring this crowd back to life a little bit.
You can see the crowd a little bit quieted down with this comeback, but certainly not out of it as they are ready to explode at any moment. Wiegand knocks down the first free throw, extending this lead here to 14 with 2:12 left. So now Wiegand will step to the line for his second attempt. That one is up, no good, rebounded by Butler. Butler gives the ball to Banks. Banks on the right side. He will try to drive on Banks, and that shot is swatted off the backboard. Now Thomas will get the ball. Checking behind him for that Wolf. Nobody there. Guarded by Neubauer. Looks like things getting a little chippy there. Banks on Bennington, but McElmurray will kick it back out. As now while they get things sorted out here, Eureka will retain possession. 18 seconds left on the shot clock, up by 14. As people getting loud, definitely getting in some heads here out on the court. So this game looks like it's getting a little bit chippy here at the end as Eureka tries to close this one out. As now Hank Thomas will inbound from the right side. He gives it to McElmurray. And they will get that foul on Banks. As he's certainly upset about that one, but I don't know what he's really complaining about there. Grabbed a handful of Thomas's jersey. He's here talking to the coach, trying to calm him down, but Eureka inbounding the ball. Banks is on the other side of the floor. Hank Thomas gets the ball, puts that one in. That could be a dagger. That's a game changer right there. Banks just kind of losing control a little bit on the other side of the court. Hank Thomas makes him pay. As now Banks will go for the 2. Thomas ties him up. They will call that one a foul as Eureka has a 17-point lead here, a minute 37 left.
You know, it sounded like a little confusion coming from Banks, and he told Coach he was out. Coach told him he was still in, and now they just teed up Banks.
As now Banks receives a technical there. So you can see they're getting things sorted out as that will foul Banks out of the game. That will now be his 5th foul. So he stands by the bench. They try to explain things to Coach. Banks just loses composure a little bit there. Now out of this contest here down the stretch. Once again, Eureka up 107-90, 137 left in the contest as they look to close this one out quickly. As now Iowa Wesleyan will be forced to make a substitution, but Banks has yet to leave the court. As now Cameron Mack will check back into the contest for Banks, as Mack will be forced to shoot the free throws. Banks, of course, fouling out after getting fouled and heading to the line.
You know, like you touched on, game getting a little bit chippy here down the stretch, but the refs have been letting them play a little bit, so you can't really fault either team for getting a little chippy.
Yeah, good to see. You don't want to see in any contest, no matter what sport it is, you don't want to see the officials really kind of change the game down the stretch. But both teams here, Eureka doing a good job keeping the composure here when it certainly could have gotten out of hand, gotten chippy. As now the lead stands at 15 with a minute 37 left. Eureka will get possession coming out of this full timeout here from head coach Chip Wilde.
You know, and coming out of this break, you got to expect Iowa Wesleyan to go full pressure here, try to create some turnovers, which could lead to some easy baskets for this Red Devils offense.
Yeah, this game's certainly not out of hand yet, but very close. They're going to have to get some points immediately on the upcoming possessions, or this one could be over in a matter of 15, 20 seconds.
And if you're Iowa Wesleyan, who do you follow? Because each member on the floor for this Eureka Red Devils team right now is a tremendous free throw shooter.
Yeah, this Eureka squad certainly one you don't want to get in the foul game with, which is going to make it very tough for Iowa Wesleyan to even cut the score to get it within 10. As Eureka up by 15, a minute 37 left here in the contest. Certainly an exciting day for Eureka basketball here at the Reagan Center. The women pouring on a huge victory over Iowa Wesleyan, and now Eureka College looking to close out their second straight conference win after a trouncing of Westminster. This Eureka men's squad, it's been exciting to see. They've dropped 2 games in the SLIAC, but of course one of those, Feehan was out, and Feehan at that point in the season was the biggest scoring threat. A lot of the other guys hadn't started quite pouring it on as much yet. And then losing a tight one at Principia. And now Eureka will inbound and quickly work through the press as they will get the ball to Juergens. Great pass there from Feehan to Juergens. He'll put it in for 2. Now Iowa Wesleyan going to just have to shoot here as Butler right on cue throws up the 3. That is no good. Rebounded by Bennington as he will rip it away from Neubauer, and Neubauer will be called from the foul. You've got to think they're 17 with a minute 18 left. Eureka just looking to close this contest out here. Great showing from Eureka here on Alumni Day. We talked about a lot of recruits. Have to hope that got some recruits excited about coming here, being a part of this atmosphere.
And good to get them involved in a good contest, a league game that meant a lot to this Red Devils team, because now they go on the road after this game and got a pretty tough schedule.
As now Neubauer will foul Feehan there. And still a couple fouls to give, I believe, so they will be out of bounds here on the sideline. And another timeout by Iowa West. This Eureka squad, they're not going to be able to cut back into that lead. Great showing there from the guys like Feehan, Bennington, Hank Thomas come on late. Wiegand putting on a great performance there in the second half. And, of course, guys like Ryan McElmurray certainly getting in the heads of those Iowa Wesleyan Tigers there. McElmurray's just a guy who plays such good defense but still so clean. You don't expect a guy like that to be in your face yet not being in foul trouble so often.
You know, and it's a mental game with him. He knows what to say, what to do to get in your face. We've seen it time in and time out in this gym. He is not afraid to talk to you, get in your head. He will get in your head, and if you let him in at all, he's going to exploit you, and he did that all game today.
As you hear the buzzer will sound here as teams come out of the break, and Feehan will look to inbound. Feehan will inbound to Alex Wiegand here on the right wing as they will foul him. He puts up the 3 just because he'll knock it down, but it will not count, of course, as he will head to the line here with a minute 9 left. These late fouls. This Eureka showing got down 5-0 to start the game, then really just never looked back after that. Eureka just pouring it on. We saw Feehan early putting on those 10 points in 3 possessions. Was definitely where it looked like the game just absolutely changed.
You know, and it provided that spark that this Red Devils team needed. You know, like you said, they were down 5 early, of course, not too much to overcome, but you never want that to continue to grow. And Feehan took it into his own hand, brought the team back, got the fans involved, really brought the energy back to this team.
Yeah, you could see Feehan there, certainly a guy, fan favorite here, because you've seen him go on runs time and time again in these games where you can't believe he's making some of the stuff he's thrown up. And he went on those 3 straight possessions where that's exactly what happened. He was just putting on a show for the crowd here and definitely was the turning point, because that just has to be frustrating for this Iowa Wesleyan team. You see, you're playing good defense, and this guy's still scoring.
And that's the thing, too, like you said. I mean, this Iowa Wesleyan team shot tremendously in the second half, and it still wasn't good enough because the guard play that Eureka has just been tremendous.
As Bennington putting on a bit of a dribbling show here, but his pass to Dame will be no good. As now Neubauer is anticipating the contact from Bennington, but Bennington just plays it smart, stays on the ground, gets in Neubauer's head. Neubauer unable to put it in. That ball will roll out of bounds. As now they will inbound right side to Johnson. His 3 is up and good from the corner. As Bennington will look to inbound, he gives it to Hank Thomas, as they will get Neubauer trying to poke it out from behind. Once again, this deficit pretty big for Eureka. They have just poured it on the Iowa Wesleyan Tigers in the women's and men's game. Great showing here at home.
And both men's and women's offensively today played lights out. Shot the ball well, moved the ball around, rebounded well. spread out the scoring. When both of those teams get on a roll like that, they're very hard to stop.
Certainly at a perfect time, it feels like, in the season. The first game back at home after the holiday break. The students are back on campus. People are here. People are excited. This is when people get excited about Eureka College basketball. This is when it's all conference matchups. They're ready to make that run, and people are excited about it. People are here. Students are in the student section, excited, ready to see what this squad can do, and they've shown them just that. Bennington here in his home opener put on a show for some people. Can't talk enough about that dunk. That was just unbelievable. If you get a chance to watch that again, just an unbelievable show of athleticism there from Bennington.
And we talked to some people at halftime. They're like, did you see that dunk? The amount of buzz this guy brings with him to the basketball floor, it's just amazing.
As now Butler will split the defenders and go and lay it in for 2. Cutting that lead to 9 now with 26 seconds. We hear as Feehan will head to the line. Iowa Wesleyan, give them credit where it certainly looked like this game could have been absolutely out of hand, has cut it down to 8 points. Eureka just unable to knock down a couple free throws here, but have to hope Feehan can knock him down, get him back on track.
And you look and, we talked about Butler and we talked about Neubauer, but Dre in the second half came out firing on all cylinders, knocking down his first 3 or 4 shots, really propelled this offense, provided that little spark. And, we still had Butler and Neubauer, who are tremendous guards, and really played a great game today.
Yeah, Dre absolutely key to that comeback in the second half. As Feehan goes 1 for 2, now Butler will put up a 3. That is no good. Tipped around, rebounded by Dame, as now they will get it to Feehan and attempt to run out the clock. 15 seconds left here. As he will dribble across half court, and Eureka will wind down the clock, get the victory here by 9, 110 to 101. Great showing here by Eureka College. Great showing by the Tigers. We saw Butler and Neubauer both had fantastic games. In the second half, Dre really showing what he could do. These guys, this Iowa Wesleyan team, certainly an exciting one to watch. Definitely appeared to be a lot better than that 2-win record would indicate.
And if you're Butler or Neubauer or even Dre, you can't be upset with the way you guys played. This Eureka Red Devils team is unbelievably talented. And those 3 kept this Iowa Wesleyan team in the game, so there's nothing to really be upset about.
As this team, certainly one, seems like people kind of come in, they see the record, but still underestimate this Red Devil squad. But no matter what, they have come in and just put on shows at home, still undefeated here at home for the men's squad. Fun team to see, fun atmosphere as we look to see how they do for the rest of the season. They will be back in action at Fontbonne on the 17th. I'm Thomas Harrison. I'm alongside Jacob Schnolly. Thanks for tuning in.